It's fascinating how we all search for deeper understanding, isn't it? We often just scratch the surface.
You do. There's so much information out there, but like real insight, that's different.
Yeah, that profound grasp of something. And sometimes you hear about historical figures who seem to have had this wisdom that's almost, well, beyond normal limits. It really grabs you.
It does. It's the difference between knowing facts and truly understanding the connections, the core ideas. A big leap, really.
Which leads us perfectly into our topic today. We're going to do a deep dive into this incredible claim about Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam
Yes.
possessing this unfathomed knowledge of the Holy Quran. We've got some really interesting sources we're going to unpack.
And for you, the learner, listening in, maybe you know a lot about Imam Ali alayhi salam, or maybe this is newer territory. This isn't just history. It's more about exploring the possibility of such deep understanding within a sacred text.
Exactly. What does that even look like? How could one person have such insight?
We're aiming to go beyond the basics, maybe uncover something genuinely mind-blowing, even if you're familiar with him.
Right. So here's the plan. We'll look at the claim itself, this idea of total comprehension of the Quran.
Okay.
Then we'll explore where this knowledge supposedly came from.
The source, yeah. Crucial.
And this idea that his understanding wasn't just literal, it went, way deeper.
Beyond the apparent meanings. Got it.
We'll touch on a few examples, if we can, of his interpretations, his exegesis. And finally, what did other people, his contemporaries, say about his knowledge?
Sounds like a good path through it.
Okay, so let's start with the claim, this comprehensive knowledge. One source we looked at suggests that just every aspect of Imam Ali alayhi salam, his personality, his being, is too vast for one book.
Which immediately sets the stage, doesn't it? It suggests someone of extraordinary capacity.
It really does. It implies this immense depth would naturally include his understanding, especially of something as central as the Quran.
It frames it as part of a bigger picture of exceptionalism, not just an isolated skill.
And it's not just a general feeling. There's a really powerful quote attributed directly to Imam Ali alayhi salam. He's reported to have said, let me get this right, "Ask me whatever you want to know about the Book of Allah."
Wow. That's bold.
By Allah, no verse of the Book of Allah that was revealed at night, in daylight, during a journey, or in a residence place, but that Allah's messenger, peace be upon him, recited it before me and taught me its interpretation.
Okay, just pause on that for a second. That's staggering. Every single verse.
Every single one.
And not just that he heard it, but that the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught him the interpretation.
Exactly. Night, day, travel, home, doesn't matter the circumstance. He's saying he was there, he learned it.
The sheer scope of that claim is immense. It suggests this incredibly detailed contextual understanding of the entire revelation.
Absolutely. It's not just academic learning he's describing. It sounds like knowledge received directly, intimately tied to the source. So the big question then is, where did it come from? How is that even possible?
Well, the primary source, as Imam Ali alayhi salam himself points out in that quote, is the direct teaching from the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Right. He explicitly says the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught him.
But it seems to go beyond just formal lessons. Their whole relationship to closeness seems fundamental.
Yeah, the sources really emphasize that. Imam Ali alayhi salam was one of the very first to accept Islam. The Siddiq, the truthful one.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Prophet's protector. Remember the story of him sleeping in the Prophet's bed during the siege?
A huge act of devotion and courage.
And he was the Amin, the trustworthy one, privy to the Prophet's secrets, peace be upon him. And then there's the Declaration of Brotherhood, him being named the Prophet's vicegerent.
All of that point to this unique, incredibly deep bond. It wasn't just student-teacher, it was family, confidant, successor. That kind of closeness creates a space for, well, extraordinary transmission of knowledge, doesn't it?
It must have, like a constant, lifelong immersion.
Exactly. Built on total trust and faith.
And then there are those specific declarations by the Prophet, peace be upon him, about knowledge. Like, Ali is the door to my knowledge.
And the explainer to my nation what I have been commissioned to convey to them. Yes.
And that other famous one, I am a house of wisdom, and Ali is its gate.
Those metaphors are so powerful. The gate, the door. It positions Imam Ali alayhi salam as essential as the way through which the Prophet's wisdom is accessed.
It's not just saying he's knowledgeable, it's saying he's the key to that knowledge.
A unique, indispensable role. It really elevates his status in relation to the Prophet's teachings, peace be upon him.
And you have to wonder, While it's focused on the Prophet's teaching, peace be upon him, given Imam Ali's alayhi salam's whole spiritual stature, does it also hint at something more, like a divine assistance in understanding?
The sources don't explicitly say divine aid was the only factor, but the context, his piety, these claims, it certainly suggests a capacity for understanding that might go beyond just human learning, like he was uniquely receptive.
So it's clear we're not just talking about memorizing words or getting the basic meaning. This knowledge was deeper.
Much deeper. That's a central theme. His understanding wasn't limited to the literal, the zahir, the apparent meaning.
Right, which brings us to that really interesting idea that every verse has 4 meanings.
Yes, this is a key concept found in tradition. Imam Ali, alayhi salam, is reported to have said that every verse has an apparent meaning, zahir.
Okay, the obvious one.
A hidden meaning.
Oh, batin.
A limit, had.
Like boundaries or definitions?
Could be, yes. Or specific rulings, and an emanation point, or a rising point. Mutala.
Emanation point. What might that mean? Like its ultimate source or purpose?
Possibly its ultimate purpose or how it connects to everything else, its highest vantage point. It implies the Quran isn't flat, it's multidimensional.
Wow. So zahir, batin, had, mutala, apparent, hidden, limit, emanation point. 4 layers for every verse.
Imagine the depth of understanding required to navigate all those layers for the entire Quran.
It's mind-boggling. It moves way beyond just translation or basic commentary. It's about unlocking these hidden dimensions.
And you can see how that connects to, the desire for those aha moments you mentioned. Seeking knowledge that really shifts your perspective.
Totally. So can we make this a bit more concrete? Any examples, even if brief, of how this deep interpretation might play out, like with specific parts of the Quran?
Well, our sources don't give exhaustive commentaries for every chapter attributed to him, but we can think about foundational parts. Take Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening.
Recited in every prayer, absolutely central.
Exactly. His understanding, encompassing those 4 layers, would unlock profound insights into God's unity, his mercy, his guidance. It wouldn't just be the words, but the deep spiritual realities and ethical imperatives behind the words.
Seeing the batin, the had, the mutala of even that short chapter would be immense.
Definitely. Or think about the concept of this straight way. The Sirat al-Mustaqim. It's everywhere in the Quran. Again, no specific quote here, breaking it down layer by layer, but his knowledge would illuminate its true nature not just as doing good deeds, but the inner states required, the boundaries defined by God, the ultimate goal. A complete spiritual roadmap.
Connecting the apparent actions with the hidden spiritual journey.
Precisely. Applying that 4-meaning framework gives a much richer picture than just the surface reading.
Okay, now there was one specific example highlighted in the source material about Surah An-Nabas, chapter 78, verses 1 and 2. Whereof do they question one another? It is of the great news.
Yes. An-Naba al-Azim. The great news.
And the source mentions traditions where this great news that people are questioning is actually Imam Ali alayhi salam himself.
That is, that's a profound interpretation. It directly connects a Quranic verse about a pivotal questioned reality to Imam Ali alayhi salam.
What does that imply exactly? That he is the news? Or it's about his role?
It could mean his station, his authority, his wilaya, guardianship, is the central point of discussion, debate, maybe even contention among people. It ties his very being, or his divinely appointed role, directly into the Quranic narrative.
It's a different level of interpretation altogether.
Yeah.
It's not just explaining the verse. It's saying the verse is about him in a fundamental way.
For followers in the Shia tradition, this kind of link is deeply significant. It shows an intrinsic connection between the Quran and the alayhi salam. It's quite mind-blowing, as you said earlier.
It really is. It shifts how you might even read that passage. Okay, so we have the claims, the source, the multi-layered understanding, this striking example. What about others? Did people around him recognize this level of knowledge?
Yes, the testimonies are quite compelling. And they come from different perspectives, too, even political adversaries.
Like Mu'awiyah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's an account where one of Imam Ali's, alayhi salam's companions, Dr, described the Imam's virtues and character to Mu'awiyah. And Mu'awiyah was apparently deeply moved, even wept, and said something like, "May Allah have mercy on Abul Hassan. By Allah, he was certainly like that."
Wow. For Mu'awiyah, that's significant acknowledgement. Even if focused on character, it speaks to a recognized greatness that surely included his intellect.
Absolutely. It shows his virtues, including presumably his knowledge, were undeniable, even to opponents.
And then there's the second caliph, Umar. Lots of reports say he frequently consulted Imam Ali alayhi salam on difficult matters, right?
Very much so. On complex legal and governance issues. Umar is often quoted as saying he would have been lost without Imam Ali alayhi salam, or variations of that.
And that quote about faith. If the heavens and the earth are put in one scale, and the faith of Ali is put in the other, the faith of Ali will certainly exceed in weight.
A powerful statement about his faith.
But as you said, faith like that isn't usually blind. It suggests an incredibly deep understanding of the principles underpinning that faith. Principles from the Quran and the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Exactly. You don't get faith like that without profound comprehension. Umar's reliance on him for practical matters underscores a recognition of superior knowledge and insight into Islamic teachings.
And finally, the source mentioned words from Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam.
Yes, Imam Ali's alayhi salam's great-grandson.
About the immense spiritual rewards for visiting Imam Ali's alayhi salam's tomb, performing ziyarah.
Right. These traditions highlight the incredibly high spiritual station attributed to Imam Ali alayhi salam by the later imams of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. This reverence is deeply connected to his role, his guidance, and implicitly his unparalleled knowledge.
It shows his enduring significance, rooted in that profound understanding.
It paints a picture of him not just as a historical figure, but as an ongoing source of spiritual connection and knowledge.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. In this deep dive, we've explored this really quite staggering claim about Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam and his knowledge of the Holy Quran.
We looked at his own reported words, claiming knowledge of every verse and its interpretation.
And how that fits into the broader picture of his almost incomprehensible depth.
We talked about the source that intense direct teaching from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, built on an unparalleled closeness.
Plus those prophetic statements calling him the gate and door to wisdom.
Then we got into the idea that his understanding wasn't just surface level, but multi-layered. The Zahir Batan had Mutala.
Apparent hidden limit emanation point for every verse.
We touched on how that might apply to foundational concepts like Al-Fatiha or the Straight Way.
And that really striking interpretation of the great news in Surah An-Naba being Imam Ali alayhi salam himself.
And finally, the witness of others' adversaries like Muawiyah, acknowledging his greatness, figures like Umar relying on his judgment, and the deep reverence shown by later imams like Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam.
So for you, the learner, what's the takeaway here? I think it's a glimpse into this. Well, this incredible potential for engaging with sacred texts. It kind of pushes us to think beyond just reading the words.
It really does. It encourages looking for those deeper layers, the hidden connections. The idea that one person could hold such comprehensive insight is, well, it challenges our usual ideas about learning and knowledge.
It's genuinely awe-inspiring. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much lies beneath the surface of things we think we know.
Yeah, it poses a question for all of us, really. How deeply do we engage? Are we satisfied with the easy answer at the surface level? Or do we push for that richer understanding?
Which leads to maybe a final thought to chew on. This idea of multi-layered meaning. It's powerful in the context of the Quran, obviously, but could it apply elsewhere?
How do you mean?
Well, think about other areas of knowledge, or even just understanding situations or people in your own life. What if we approached more things, looking for those deeper layers, the hidden context, the limit, the emanation point?
Ah, I see. Applying that framework more broadly.
Yeah. What great news, what profound insights might we uncover if we adopted that kind of comprehensive, multi-layered approach to understanding the world around us?
That's a fascinating challenge, to look beyond the apparent everywhere.
It's an invitation maybe to just keep digging deeper, always
wow.
seeking a more profound understanding.
O God, bless Muhammad and Muhammad's household and replace for me the animosity of the people of hatred with love, the envy of the people of insolence with affection, the suspicion of the people of righteousness with trust, the enmity of those close with friendship, the disrespect of womb relatives with devotion, the abandonment of relatives with help, the attachment of flatterers with love set right, the rejection of fellows with generous friendliness, and the bitterness of the fear of wrongdoers with the sweetness of security. O God, bless Muhammad and his household, appoint for me a hand against him who wrongs me, a tongue against him who disputes with me, and a victory over him who stubbornly resists me. Give me guile against him who schemes against me, power over him who oppresses me, refutation of him who reviles me, and safety from him who threatens me. O God, bless Muhammad and his household, and point me straight to resist him who is dishonest toward me with good counsel. Repay him who separates from me with gentle devotion. Reward him who deprives me with free giving. Recompense him who cuts me off with joining. Oppose him who slanders me with excellent mention. Give thanks for good, and shut my eyes to evil. O God, bless Muhammad and his household. Adorn me with the adornment of the righteous, and clothe me in the ornaments of the God-fearing, through spreading justice, restraining rage, quenching the flame of hate, bringing together the people of separation, correcting discord, spreading about good behavior, covering faults, mildness of temper, lowering the wing, beauty of conduct, gravity of bearing, agreeableness in comportment, precedence in reaching excellence, preferring bounteousness, refraining from condemnation, bestowing bounty on the undeserving, speaking the truth, though it be painful, making little of the good in my words and deeds, though it be much, and making much of the evil in my words and deeds, though it be little,